Welcome back to the Marquee Media Studio with Mark Haney, igniting the entrepreneurial revolution with the Haney Biz Project.
Welcome back to the Haney Biz Project, brought to you courtesy of Hub International and Legion AVS. I'm Mark Haney, and I have the privilege of being joined by Leroy Tripette. He is the man behind Cristo Rey High School in Sacramento. How you doing, Leroy?
Doing really good. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here.
Well, I love, I love entrepreneurship, and I love the way you are preparing young people to join the workforce. And some of these young people are going to become entrepreneurs, right? Talk to us about what's going on over at Cristo Rey.
Oh man, Cristo Rey, amazing school. We've got almost 400 students coming from low-income homes that all want an opportunity to enter our region's workforce and make an impact. We've got students that are looking for positions at businesses around our region. The business then gives that student the work experience, and these kids get the opportunity to learn transferable skills that they can use when they proceed to college.
Now, Cristo Rey is a high school, am I right?
That's correct.
So we have young people in high school going into businesses like Five Star Bank, like Haney Biz, other regular businesses where they have office jobs, right?
That's exactly it. Yeah, these are students that are looking for entry-level administrative clerical positions that normally would be filled by a typical full-time employee, that our kids come in, or our students come in and do that for the business.
What a head start for a young person to come in and work at Five Star Bank along James Beckwith, the president over there. There's not another entity like you in this region, is there?
We are part of a national network, but we are the only one in northern Sacramento. There are actually 32 Cristo Reys around the country, but we are it for this region. We are the ones that are making the impact and giving this opportunity to these kids.
Well, it definitely makes an impact on our businesses, but how does it impact the child?
For the kid, these are students that are coming from, homes where the parents didn't go to college. Many of them may not even have gotten through high school. Migrant-type workers, students, that are coming from very low-income situations. So these jobs, these opportunities give the students multiple things. One, it gives them the chance, as I said earlier, to learn those transferable skills. But two, it really builds their self-confidence and really shows these students what possibilities exist for them in their future. And it's just amazing to see them blossom as they enter a freshman, because our students go to work at 14.
Okay.
And seeing them go from freshman year to their senior year.
What goes through their mind when they walk in? I'm a 14-year-old, and I walk in, and I'm going to work at a bank. I mean, that's completely out of their comfort zone, I have to assume.
Oh, yeah. These students, a lot of these students, again, never seen a large business. We have stories of, one year there was a student that started work down on Capitol Mall downtown, 23rd floor.
Putting on a little business suit?
Well, they do wear, they do have to wear a button-down shirt and tie, so we do have some professional dress code attire for them. But he shows up, and 23rd floor is where he's got to go to work, and he has no concept of how to get there.
Yeah.
Because he's never been in a high-rise building. He's never used an elevator. So the kid is just in tears trying to understand that. So there's so many things that we take for granted.
I'm like that when I go downtown myself. And some of these elevators, like, oh, that only goes to that floor. That goes to the other floor. I can only imagine being 14.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But then you walk in the door, and let's say it's a law firm, and everybody is buttoned down working and getting paid $400 an hour or whatever they get paid. And then I'm a 14-year-old that comes from a low-income background. That's got to be even more intimidating.
It can be a little intimidating for the students. We try to prepare them as best we can. Their freshman summer, we actually give them a 3-week summer institute where we train them on soft skills. We give them entry-level Microsoft Office training. So we try to prepare them for some of that. But yeah, it's a growing experience for them. It's an opportunity for them to learn and see things out of their comfort level.
Well, what's a success story look like?
Oh my goodness. We've got several of them. We've got a young lady who graduated from Cristo Rey, got a full ride to University of Pacific, doctorate of pharmacology, who now came back to our region, is working here. There's a student that went and got an electrical engineering degree from Berkeley, works over at Intel. We've got a lot of these things. I mean, that's what's key to our program. We have, these young students that we hear over and over again, workforce development. Where do we build our pipeline? I've got a group of diverse students that want to be in our community and want to go to college, learn a trade, learn a skill, and come back and work here. It's fabulous.
Well, it's a diverse set of students, but it's not easy to get into the program. Am I right?
It takes a little bit. We actually have a waiting list. One of the first things, first and foremost, is the finances. Our students come in at or below the federal poverty level. So that means average median income is about $40,000 for a family of 4, and most of our students are below that. So that's your first piece that we have to look at. But after that, there is a rigorous assessment test that we do, as well as interviews with our students. Just make sure that they really are a good fit, since we are putting these students to work in businesses, and that they want to be here, and it's not something that their parents are just pushing for them.
We have a couple of those students here at Haney Biz, and they help out in our accounting and our support. And I was asking the team, what do you think of the kids over from Cristo Rey? And our team loves your students. What do you do to get them prepared besides the interview process and getting in and the screening? What do you do to get them prepared so that when they walk into Haney Biz, they're banging, right? They are firing on all cylinders. Somehow they come in and they are working. How do you do that?
Well, first of all, I should say your student is so well loved. One of your students won the Employee of the Month award. That hasn't been shared yet with the student. I think he finds out tomorrow.
Oh, man,
you guys are doing great work here too.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, it's giving them giving them those soft skills opportunities, giving them the skill, the opportunity to learn a little more about what it means to go into a professional setting. Our students, our teachers also work with our students on preparing them. And sometimes we have guest speakers that'll come in and talk to the students as well, giving them an insight into what it means to be at a professional business.
I'm wondering what we talked about what success looks like, but how do you measure success for the organization? Are there certain metrics, like how many go on to college and things like that?
We've got all sorts. The Cristo Rey Network is focused on very specific metrics. One of them financially is 90% of our students are supposed to be in paid positions. We have metrics that track how well we persist. I think the network goal is 70%.
What do you mean persist?
Persist as in come to our school as a 9th grader and graduate all the way, finish and graduate.
Gotcha.
And the goal is 70%. Our school is now trending around 80. So we're doing some good things there. Thank you. And then I think the other success, again, is just the stories we see of our students in our community.
Thinking about what you might want the business community to know about Cristo Rey, what kind of businesses, I mentioned us, 5-star law firm, what kind of business is a good fit for Cristo Rey? Is a construction company swinging a hammer a good fit? I'm assuming no.
No, that's not necessarily where we're trying to go. Again, we want these students to have a different experience than what they have been seeing their families in.
Okay.
So we want them to have something more upskill, if you will, of again that office environment, that corporate white collar, if you could, type of role. But we have the real answer is it's any business that has a passion for educating our young students and giving them the opportunity to succeed, and someone that can mentor the student. We got businesses that work with us from a base level. They're doing the simple entry-level clerical type work. I've got businesses that work with us where our students at our IT technology center, they do technology refresh, patches, security. We've got a law firm that's been with us for years, uses our students as law clerks in depositions because many of our students are bilingual. It gives that opportunity to have our students come in and be able to help those translations. So we really run the gamut.
If I was to ask one of your students, do you learn more from the experience working in the field, or do you learn more from the textbook? What do you think they'd tell me?
They're going to say the field, hands down. We actually every morning we get our students to a check-in before we send them on our vans to the different work sites, and we will have students that will come up with all sorts of excuses not to come to school, but on the day that they go to work, they will be hiding their sniffle or trying to do whatever they can to make sure they can get to the work site because they really, really value and feel that they learn so much from being engaged in the business community.
I was inspired to take a hard look at Cristo Rey from a guy named Dave Lucchetti, right? A very, very successful business guy. Over at his house one day, run into you, and we didn't know each other well. But who inspired you? How did you get involved in Cristo Rey?
Oh, goodness. Well, I could probably say Dave Lucchetti to some degree because I've known him for several years, and he is a wonderful supporter of the school. In my own personal story, I'm a computer scientist by education, and then somehow along my career path ended up in workforce development and helping build programs, pipeline programs on getting students of color interested in STEM careers. And so that's kind of how I found out and fell into Cristo Rey. It was a full application of what I've kind of been doing over my career.
Well, I can only imagine it's like one of the most rewarding things that you could be doing with your life is helping the young people, helping that next one in line.
Oh, exactly. It's amazing. I mean, and seeing what these students do. I mean, and you talked about entrepreneurship. We even have some of our students that are running their own businesses while here at the school. There's a young man that has his own bounce house and party rental service that he does while working for a law firm and while also helping out with his family. So it really is just so enriching to be able to have a positive impact on these students' lives and help make this happen.
Leroy Tripette, I want to thank you for coming on the show today, for what you do for the greater Sacramento area, what you do for Haney Biz as well, bringing your students to us to help us get our job done around here. When we return, I will be joined by Ben Barnholt, the director of the award-winning broadcasting and media company, media program at Whitney High School. Coming up after the break, join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, brought to you courtesy of Chicago Fire and Apex Appraisal Services. This is the Haney Biz Project.